Ready.
All right, so we are live in 3, 2.
Hey everybody, it's Michelle with Miki Grace. This is so cool. I am so excited to be live and in action with you guys right now. This is super sick. I have to say I'm a little nervous actually. I don't even know how many people are watching, but that so does not matter. What matters is that I'm here with you now, and hopefully you are logging on. If you have to forward some of the information, just go to the Miki Grace page and you can actually forward the link from there. It's Meridius Radio. So I am just gonna get started here. Can you show me so I can see myself? I kind of want to interact with, I want to look at me. This is Oliver Manley's, and he's the producer of this cool new show, which is initially going to be once every 2 weeks for now, but eventually I think it's going to be once a week, actually. So just want to center myself. I know that there's a lot of people out there watching, all of my hundreds and hundreds of fans, as Rav would say.
We're on Meridius Radio right now.
That's cool.
Hold on a second. Just let me change the link on our Facebook.
Okay. So again, the title of the show is Being Me with Miki Grace. And got all dolled up for you guys. I'm wearing my goddess gear here. Got all my chains on. So excited to talk about what this show, I'm all blinged out. I'm all excited. So really, I thought we would start the show with a little friendly banter. That's actually what I put here. And the first thing that I wanted to say is this is so much easier now that I like myself. So it's kind of an interesting conversation that you should have with yourself. You know, do you like yourself? And if not, you know, what is life reflecting to you? What is life like? And I have to say that things really started shifting for me once I started liking myself. And is it on commercial? Is that what's going on?
No, there's like a commercial
That's cool. Just leave it. Can you leave it like that? Can I leave it like that?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
No, I just wanted to make sure that we got the proper link on.
Perfect. We are all set to go. So I'm going to figure out how to maneuver my body here so you guys can see my face. Sure. So the family has just had dinner. The boys are going to bed. Chris is putting them to bed, thank goodness. And I just came down here in the flurry of the excitement of the setup of all this gear. And Oliver was mentioning to me that these boys are just all for it. They're ready to start producing. So I'm excited about that because Tristan's been talking to me about having his own show for a really long time. So here we go. We are officially online. And just an FYI, my lovely, incredible business goddess manager, Cassie Rainbow Love Holder, is online right now. And she's going to be tweeting and doing her thing on Facebook. So keep an eye out there. And if you have any questions, post them on Facebook. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, try to email me. I'll try to check, throughout the next little bit while we're online. If you have specific questions, because I asked you guys, what type of questions you have for a show like this. And so check it out. Check it out on Facebook or email me at mikigracecoaching@gmail.com. So I would love a green tea. That would be awesome. Thanks. So, as I was saying, life in general has been getting a lot easier by liking myself, by loving myself. And I wanted to talk about what that means. Okay, so let's draw a comparison, shall we, with what life looked like for me before actually feeling a semblance of affection and love for myself. And you know what that looked like was this. I have an unbelievable coach, Hans Phillips. He's a coach, he's a mentor, he's, you know, by far one of the most amazing ontological coaches on this planet, ontological experts, philosophers on this planet, Hans Phillips. And he referred to my not so much affection for myself as living in a pool of diarrhea. So it was just disgusting to me to even imagine that. But stay with me here, okay? This is really gross, but stay with me. Imagine being in a pool of your own diarrhea, and it's warm, and it's just disgusting and putrid and toxic, and you're like up to your neck, up to right here, and you're in this tub, and you're soaking yourself in this tub, and people are passing you by, and they're looking at you, and they're saying, why don't, like, just stand up. Just stand up. It's going to be okay. Just stand up. Just get up out of that diarrhea and just, you know, get out of the tub. I can help you. Come. Like, come with me now. Get out of this tub. And believe it or not, when we don't care for ourselves, when we are in a state of complete misalignment, when we don't give a shit about our well-being, when we don't give a shit about our mindset, we don't really care, you know, what's up here and what's in here, then we're sitting in a pool of diarrhea, because the constant nagging, the constant thoughts, the constant clobbering on our heads with this vibrational club of you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you know, way to go, you should be somewhere else, this is ridiculous, nobody's watching the show, you know, these are all ways that we beat ourselves up. And that's what your diarrhea story is. That's what your diarrhea story is. And when life is lived out of those eyes, it becomes very challenging to have alignment, obviously. They're on exact opposite ends. Hating yourself, complete depression, and loving yourself, alignment. And you can say alignment with God. You can say alignment with your Holy Spirit. You can say alignment to non-physical. And, you know, if you don't believe in God necessarily, you can just say, you know, being aligned with who you really are, being really being you, you know, being me. And so I wanted to share that, you know, that things have been coming a lot easier. I've been in more of a state of allowing, and that comes so much with learning to love myself. And the other thing too, and what that entails lately for me, has been this really intense shadow work. And that came along, I have to do a shout out to Terry from my coaching group, and Terry Williams, who is an unbelievable coach. All of you guys are, from the Ontological Coaches group that we did with Hans Phillips. And she guided me to Robert Ohotto. And Robert Ohotto has a podcast. Check him out. He's amazing. I'll try to get, Cassie, if you're listening, I'll try to get you to stick that on our page as well. And he's just an amazing, you know, he calls himself an intuitive life strategist. And he's got this phenomenal podcast that talks about codependency, and talks about what the shadow is, and talks about our ego, and talks about, you know, how relationships are affected by the relationship that we have with ourselves. And when I started delving into that, I mean, I literally ate up all his podcasts. They're free. He's also got incredible programs that you could purchase online. And I've not purchased one yet, but I know I will very soon. But I gobbled up all his stuff. I mean, I just ate it up in a matter of days, and just listened to it, and just really saw the benefit of healing these wounds. I really saw the benefit of doing the shadow work. And what he considers shadow work, or my description of shadow work actually, is, you know, okay, so you get hurt, you really get kind of fucked up, you know, and something happens to you in your past. And you know what? I have a perfect example. I'm gonna give you a really great example. I actually talked about this in a recent video blog, when I said, I remember being 3 or 4 years old and walking down the main floor. It was so clear in my head. We were coming out of the basement parking lot. That's exactly where we're coming from. Because I lived in this, what's that area that I lived in before that they call it the ghetto now? I lived in Paisley, and they call it the ghetto now. It's so funny. And like locally, they call it like this ghetto area, and there's all these gangs. It's so funny. And so we're coming out of the basement, and I'm 3 or 4 maximum. And I remember this so clearly. And I remember having pigtails. And I remember how I would walk like how I thought a fashion model or like a movie star would walk. So I would like twitch my hips, and I'd like swing my hair and walk really confident, and I'd like strut. Like I'd have this movie star strut that I would have, 3 or 4 years old. And I know what that looks like because my kids have it in spades. Like they know how to walk. And I remember hearing from in back of me, either, I don't know if it was one of my parents. I don't think it was a parent, but I know that it was an aunt or an uncle saying, "Oh, malande." Like, don't walk like that. It means you're malande, which basically means, if you don't know the Filipino language, it means flirtatious. It means inviting sensuality, inviting like sexuality, over sexuality. And can you imagine being 3 or 4 years old and being told that? What does that do? Okay, that's what the wound is. Okay, what does that do? That is your shadow. That's like inappropriate behavior. Society says so. You should not be doing that. So hide it. Because, and I'll tell you why. They also used to teach me when I was younger that attractive children that got straight A's usually, because that's what they show in the media, are the ones that get abducted. So here I am, a cute, attractive little girl that, wants to be a movie star when she grows up, and is being told that she's acting in an inappropriate way, and hide your sexuality, damn it, and don't show that you're sexy, and, you better hide it because you're going to get kidnapped and raped for sure, and keep an eye out for those white vans, so funny. And so it's just amazing. So all of this work and understanding what that wound is. So imagine you block that down. This is what the shadow is all about. This is my description. Okay. Stick with me. You block that experience down. You remember what the response is from society when you act in a certain way. So you hide that behavior, and it goes into the shadow. It goes into the shadow. And the wound, it's really funny because Robert Ohado says it in a really funny way. He goes, you bury it, and then it comes back with all the demons. I don't know how he says it, but it's just like it comes back with a vengeance. You bury it inside, and it comes back in a vengeance. And how does it come back? Well, you continue hating yourself. You continue telling yourself that you're being inappropriate. I remember being in grade school and being attacked by a 6-foot girl in the bathroom, because this is grade 3 or grade 4, guys. Okay. Being attacked in the bathroom by a 6-foot girl, she looked 6 foot to me when you're in grade 3, telling me that I should stay away from her boyfriend. I don't even know who her boyfriend is. And it was because of the outfit that I was wearing. And so this, this is shadow work. And so when we start to look at that, shine a light on it, and really understand where it's coming from and what happened, and that it's not your fault, and who you had to be in those moments that were actually protecting you and creating security for you. That was your way of giving yourself self-love by burying it or hiding it or protecting yourself or acting in a certain way. But the whole point is that context no longer works. It doesn't work anymore to be like that. It works to shift that being and uncover and do the shadow work, and then releasing that. So that's been my experience as of late. That's my friendly banter that I wanted to share. Friendly banter, isn't that funny? It's really friendly. I want to share with you guys about this kick-ass day that I had on Monday, and that's why I did the video. I don't know if you guys got it. I did the video because I had such an amazing day, and I want to share about it. I wrote my notes down, and I want to share about it because it was just so amazing. The first thing that we did was Chris and I went to Scarborough to a really cool studio that is run by this amazing entrepreneur, Anthony, and we went there to do a show about homeschooling and our experience in homeschooling our children. It's going to be on a show that I definitely want you guys to check out. It's by Keziah Rule, who I think is becoming a friend, actually. She's really cool. She's a really cool lady, and has this amazing show called Rules of Success. And check it out. It looks pretty sick. So anyway, we go on this show. We have this amazing interview. First of all, they do my makeup. And this girl, her name is Cam, and I'm reaching out to her. I'm going to do a shout out to her because she was amazing. But she did my makeup, and I loved it. I just loved how I look, and it just felt so luxurious. You know, it's so good to do stuff like that for ourselves. So she did my makeup. We did the interview, had an amazing time. You know, got to walk around the studio and just see what these young, incredible business people are doing with their lives to shift this planet. Like, I'm right there meeting with a producer. Like, I'm right there meeting with a studio owner. I'm right there meeting with, you know, this woman who's turned hardships and like experiences in her life to this cool interview show. And I can see her, you know, on so many screens. And like that was my morning. Then after that, we actually decided to go visit an old mentor of mine. And more, I'm seeing the power of looking at my past through different glasses. And what I mean by that is looking at my past and seeing like, what did I get from this experience? Like, it didn't happen for no reason. It didn't happen for nothing. You know, like there was a purpose to it. And so I've been thinking about, you know, just a few years ago when I was part of Quantum, you know, this direct sales sort of network marketing group that was run by David Singh, and just thinking about him as a mentor and where my mind was at. And man, you know what? I want to do a shout out for David Singh because we went to go see him, Christopher and myself, and, you know, we're just shooting shit, just talking about stuff and just sharing like what's been up in our experience. And he's like, man, you look amazing. Like you look phenomenal. Like, what's going on? And it was so nice. It was so nice connecting with him because I remember where I was at, you know, 2-3 years ago, mentally, physically, you know, spiritually, emotionally, where my family was at, you know, in all areas of my life, even financially. And I'm looking at my life and I'm realizing that by meeting him, there was really an opportunity for me to relook at where I was at that point in my life. And where I was at was not really understanding where I fit in as a mom and as a woman and as a wife and as a business owner and as, you know, this amazing salesperson and as a tremendous speaker and as a good friend, and, you know, and how I loved media, like how I love production and writing. So I didn't know back then. I really didn't. I remember being very confused and not really liking myself once again, like just really not liking myself at that point in time. And then I remember meeting David and just seeing, you know, in his life, this incredible life that he's created for himself and his family, and how he cherishes his family, how he loves his family. He's so passionate about, you know, helping the world and making an impact on the world. And so, you know, I remember meeting with him for the first time as my mentor, and I remember him, you know, asking me these amazing questions and, you know, like saying, like, how do you want to be spiritually? Hi, Mom. How do you want to be spiritually? How do you want to be, you know, mentally? Like, what do you want your family to look like? And I remember it was very simple goal setting. It was, you know, like AKA like Anthony Robbins kind of stuff that, you know, you already know about. You know about that type of, you know, goal setting. It was very simple. And yet at that time, that's where I needed to be. And at that time, you know, it was important for me to learn from this particular mentor. So that was Monday. And then I just, you know, really wanted to share on Family Day and just how we had an amazing family day with Miki Grace. We had about 4 or 5 families here. This table was full of snacks. It was awesome. You know, the kids were playing. They had a great time. They had ice cream. They had the after Easter egg hunt. And then with the parents, you know, I don't know, do this in your neighborhood and try it, because you will be blown away by the response and the way people share, you know, about their families. And one of the first things that we did as we were looking around the room was, you know, what's your vision for your family? What is your vision for your family? You know, like, what's the relationships like? What is, you know, what does it feel like? Where do you want to go with them? What do you want to do? And it's really cool seeing the commitment that people have on, you know, developing that in their family, and how committed they are in looking for solutions. And it was unbelievable. It was so much fun. It was great. So my day on Monday, as I said, so following Sunday, which was the family day, and then Monday, amazing days, just kick ass, awesome. And then suddenly, you know, contrast. The boys got sick. And it was interesting responding to this contrast this time, because with the work that I've been doing as of late, and just kind of feeling where I'm at, and feeling where, like, what I'm thinking about, where my thoughts are at, the boys got sick, and you know, I was really concerned about Tristan, and we brought him to a homeopathic doctor who's amazing. And what that really taught me, what I did actually was, on the Wednesday I had appointments, and I really decided that I was going to take some time away from Tristan, because he was really making me nervous, you know, just being so sick. And I couldn't get my mind on a positive aspect of him. Like, how could I see this in a positive light? How can I see, like, my child is ill, you know, I feel terrible. I'm not sleeping properly. I'm not eating properly, because I'm, you know, having to wake up every 3-4 hours to make sure that he's okay. And just, it hit me that I was really looking at his response, his reaction, his health, my home, my surroundings, to give me feedback that would make me feel better. And how much do we do this in our lives? Think about it. How many times do we look at the outside world, our experiences, to give us almost like the permission to feel a certain way? It's like, you know, my son is sick, and so, like, he has to be better before I can feel good. But what's amazing about that is that you're completely not in alignment. And when you're completely not in alignment, you have no semblance of this well-being. And when you don't have any semblance of well-being, then what's the point of really trying to create the life that you want? What's the point of doing a lot of different activities, a lot of different things? There's really no point. And so what I'm doing now is I'm really aiming to no longer let the rest of the world dictate what I see, how I feel, and really owning in and controlling my response to reality. You know, controlling the response that I have. I don't necessarily have to react in a certain way. It was awesome. Just to speak about Cassie, you know, we were talking today, and we actually had a scheduled teleconference with the guys with the 3 pillars, which is an event that I'm doing soon. So I'm so going to plug that in. I'm going to talk about it soon. But you know, we were supposed to do this teleseminar at 3 p.m. And then it was funny because, you know, my in-laws just got back from the Philippines, and we're going to have lunch with them. And so, you know, I knew I was going to, like, kind of shift in terms of the time. So I was like, you know, I kind of hope that it gets shifted to another time. And then it did. And then when we came on again, like, there was all this frustration and all this response. And I was really proud of my reaction to the call not being on at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, getting frustrated, all these things. Like, why get frustrated? What is the point? We're going to have the call when it's the best time. You know, it's going to happen when it's the best time. Things are going to work out according to the way that they're going to work out. And I can either have a really shit attitude, like I can have a really pissy attitude and just be like, like, you know, like, this is so bad and this is not working out for me and I'm so upset and, you know, like, just upset about it. Or I can be, you know, just be like, okay, let's chill. Like, this is working out for the best. This is perfect. You know, this is in good time. And that's actually what I did And it did work out for the best. And so the whole point, I guess the distinction I'm trying to make, if that's the right word to use, or, like the idea I'm trying to put out there is, let's try deciding that we're not going to wait for our outward reality, the way people act to us, the way people respond to us, what's in our bank account, who's in our bed, how our children are acting, what food we're eating, like the weather, traffic, your boss, like how you look in the mirror, the way the person in the mirror is looking back at you, like these are all responses. Like we're expecting so much of the world to do for us. Like we're expecting so much of other people's response to make us feel better. And you know what? It starts here, guys. And this is going to be the ongoing theme all night long, is that it starts right here. It starts with the man in the mirror. It starts with you, So interesting. That is my friendly banter, and that banter carried on for quite a long time. But I hope you enjoyed it, because that was that's just a little flavor. That's just a little taste, about what we're going to talk about. So I'm just going to check it on Facebook. So what is life currently reflecting to you? I said that. That's cool. Thanks, Cassie. You're so cute. What is your vision for your family? What do you want to do with them? Where do you want to go with them? I said that too. That's sweet. Exactly. Like, ask yourself these questions, How many times do we look outside the world to give us permission to feel a certain way? Damn, I said that. That's good. That's good stuff. That makes me laugh. Doesn't that make you laugh? You don't have Cassie on Facebook. Cassie is Cassie. Lovely Cassie. Cassie's unbelievable, by the way. I just love that girl. Like, goddess love her. Like, she's just amazing. I think she's under Cassie Rainbow Love, if I'm not mistaken. Look under my friends. Stop bothering me while I'm talking to these important people. So, so that's what's going on Facebook. How exciting. So what is this show about? What am I going to be doing eventually every week, maybe every day? Who knows? What is Miki Grace about? What is Miki Grace? It was funny. I was going to actually bring like a poster. I was going to like put something up because I'm excited about my art. I'm excited about my poetry, about production. And what is Miki Grace? Well, okay, I'm going to tell you the story. So I wanted to this was years ago. I was on a show called Stuck. Isn't that interesting? I was on a show called Stuck. And that's how I met my agent. And then I'm just going to tell you the quick version of it. Okay. Cause a lot of people know this story already. So I was on a show called Stuck, which is still out there right now. So if you want to see me about 40 pounds heavier and frustrated and just a horrible person. Oh, there's a self-hate. So sorry, let me take that hat off. So Stuck was a show. There was like 13 episodes, and it was a story about, me and 6 other women who are stuck, in their lives somehow. So typically with weight, right? So they're stuck with their weight. And then how that shifts to, like you go do these exercises with each other. Anyway, whatever. I was on this show. Enough said. I was on this show. Check it out if you want to check it out. It's Stuck season 2, and I'm Michelle B. And apparently I used to be a fitness model, which is really funny because I was not. I was trying to be a fitness model when I lived in LA. That's another story. So I was on this show, and I met my agent that way, Terry, who's this lovely, lovely lady from Heinz Management. Shout out Terry. Shout out Amy. Hey. So they had Heinz Management, and so she asked me to come on kind of as a sub-agent, which I tried, and it wasn't a really good fit just because of my schedule and because I wanted to be around the boys more. So they're like, you know what? Start your own agency. Like, we're going to totally give you the support that we need, and they did. So I started my own agency, and I ended up having about, sometimes I say 48, sometimes I say 50. I don't know. I think it was 48. I don't know, whatever. It was like over 40 people were my clients. And so I started doing that and ran my own business for like a year. It was no, not Melaleuca. No, Melaleuca. That's another story. That's so funny. No, like Miki Grace. Miki Grace. It's like, oh, let me tell you the story. No, Miki Grace. So, yeah. So, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the agency. So I had this agency, and I had like 48, like whatever, 40 clients, blah blah blah. Did the business for about a year. And it was not so good. Like I got some bookings and I was getting there, and I don't even remember. I was doing other stuff. I think I was doing quantum at the same time. I was like working at the same time. Remember that? I worked at Pavilion all the way far. You remember when I worked there? Do you remember that? Were you part of my life yet, Oliver? I'm not sure.
Where?
At Pavilion. No. Okay. So, oops. So, yeah, that was really, really interesting, having those experiences. And so anyway, it didn't work out. And at the same time, I read 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And yes, people, I'm doing a shout out because Tim Ferriss, I want to be your friend. I think that we would all be really cool together. My husband and our friends and myself. And yeah, I'm going to do a shout out for you. But anyway, it was so awesome. Like it was a really great book, and it really shifted my mentality about how to run things with Miki Grace. So much so that really what I wanted to look out for were who are my top producers in terms of talent for this agency, and who are the people that I really, really felt strongly aligned with, meaning that they could be. This was more of a partnership where they weren't like relying on me to do everything for them. They knew that this was a partnership, the two of us, working together. And I got rid of all my other clients, and I kept 2. And that was interesting. That was an interesting shift because around the same time, that's when things started shifting with me getting into coaching and me doing the intuitive stuff and me doing the ontological stuff. And so that's when Miki Grace was created. And what does Miki Grace stand for? Well, initially, it just stood for the following. My nickname is Miki. My middle name is Grace. And also because we love Entourage and we're such groupies with that show that, they have the Miller Gold agency, which is Ari Gold's and Barbara Miller's, right? Yeah, Miller Gold standard, like Miller Gold agency. And it's MGA. So I'm like, cool. Miki Grace and Associates. And so, actually, no, Oliver made it up. I think you did. But it was cool. It's like Miki Grace, And so that's where that came from. But what's amazing is what it actually stands for. Miki Grace, Miki stands for, in Japanese, a very strong, like rooted tree, like full of wisdom and like strong, rooted, spiritual, deep. And Grace stands for like this haven, this place, this source of creation, this haven of inspiration to create the life of your dreams. That's my tagline. But, that's what it stands for. And so that's what Miki Grace is about. And what does that mean? So I still have those clients. I still have talent clients, and I work with them in very different ways. Some of them I'm producing with. I'm so excited. I'm producing with some of my clients. Some of them, there's only 2, by the way. So some of them. One of them I'm producing with. One of them I'm still representing and still support in not only in a coaching role and not only a friend role, but like I love him. He's amazing. He's going to be on the show. His name is David Emmanuel. Check him out. So that's what, those are the types of clients that I work with. But I also, what's so funny? I also, work with real estate investors. I also work with spiritual teachers. I work with yoga instructors and, people that are creators and poets and writers. And I think that's what this show is really going to be about. It's about being me, being who I am, and you being you. And, what do we bring to the table, and how can we learn from each other, and how can we apply ontological processes and intuitive processes and just like the myriad of all the shit that I've done in my life, like I've I don't know how many times I've changed my career in the last 10 years. I don't know how many times I've really like in depth, like looked at myself and tried to understand and, you know, understand me. And I love to experiment on myself, and I love sharing that with people. And I think that that's what this is about. You know, like when I opened up the call today, what did I say? I said, you know, this is so much easier now that I like myself. And I want that for you. What's that?
It's a show.
It's a show. Oh, it's a show. Sorry. It's not a call-in show yet, but that's the hope, is that it's going to be a call-in show. But so yeah, so what do I do? What do I do? Okay. For lack of, you know, just to keep it simple, I meet a person. I fall in love with them. Like, not like, oh, like in love. Like I fall in love with them. Like I fall in love with them as people, you know? I really do. And Hans knows this. Like, and other people in my life that I just love know this. Like I love with a vengeance. They know this. They know that I fall in love with them. I really deeply fall in love with them. And then the next step is that, you know, I really fall in love with their dreams too. I really fall in love with the version of them in their dreams. Okay? And then I take the stuff that I do and then I Miki Grace that, you know, like I create this haven. I know I just said that. I just said Miki Grace that. I know it's bad, but it's so awesome. But yeah, so I take that and then I use processes and I use tools and I talk to you. I help to shift your thinking. I help to, you know, I guide you through the rocks. I take you on the journey, and that's what I do. And so this show, you know, I want it to be about interviewing people. I want it to be about talking. I want it to be about sharing. I want people to call in. I want people to just like, let's really, really revolutionize life. Let's really love life, you know, and mean it. That's what I want. That's what this show is about. So yeah, like how do we add to each other's lives, you know? Every client that I have completely adds to my life in such huge ways. I learn from them so much. I learn from every intuitive session, every ontological coaching session I have. You know, and now it's interesting because I think Miki Grace is just so much more than just, you know, coaching and speaking and sharing. It's also about production. And like, what does production mean? Like, what is inspirational production? What does inspirationally producing stuff mean? It means creating work, creating like recordings, like creating art that is going to inspire people, that is going to just shift people, that is going to wake people up and just contribute to this planet that we're living on right now. And so I'm excited. That's what Miki Grace is about. It's pretty intense stuff going on. I'm going to check on the Facebook page for a second because maybe there's some questions. Let's see. Oh, sweet. She just put the explanation. I'm currently drafting up a lovely mind map of Miki Grace's first radio show. I love the work I do. Woohoo, Cassie Rainbow Love. I'm in a deep appreciation to Michelle, aka Miki Grace. Sweet. Thanks, Cass. You're a sweetheart. So yeah, so that's what this show is about. So what does that mean for you? Well, maybe I need to interview you. Maybe you need to be up here with me. Maybe you need to be sharing your gift too. So write into me, mikigracecoaching@gmail.com. Maybe you need to call in on the show, and we're going to figure out how to do that for the next time. But I'm definitely going to do some spot coaching. There's definitely going to be some lecture kind of series going on. We're going to talk about shadow stuff. We're going to talk about, you know, people that I'm learning from, you know, different people that I'm learning from. So here's some questions from the audience. Yay! What motivated you to start your own radio show? Well, believe it or not, it was just a few weeks back that I said, I want my own radio show. I want to be on the computer. And It was literally a few weeks. And what propelled that was Robert Ohado, because I was listening to his podcast and I'm like, I love how this guy talks. Like, he's so himself. Like, he's just like, bleh. Like, this is me. Like, this is who I am right now. You know, I am who I am. And he was just so like rock star, just like fucking on it. Like, and I'm like, oh, this is good. I like listening to people that are just really straight and really themselves. Like, oh, Clue, how about you be yourself, you know? And that's how the show came about. And I was like, I want my own show. And Chris and Oliver already had theirs. And it was so funny, you know, like I got all jealous when they first started theirs. And I'm totally going to admit it and confess to it, because why not? But I was so jealous. And I was like, man, you know, and I remember watching the show and being like, I want to produce it. Like, I want to be in the, like, you know, I want to be backstage. I want to like, whatever. And it's so silly. We're so silly, right? You know, like we're hilarious. So, but that's what motivated it. And then I asked Oliver to do the producing, and he said yes. And that just takes a whole, you know, like Ayn Rand globe off my back, because you know, the technology stuff, it's not really my thing. I just want to do my thing, and I just want to do my thing more and more and more and more in front of more people. And this is the opportunity. What can we expect from your radio show? I don't know. What do you want? Respond, you know, partake, enjoy, let me know. I don't know. What can you expect? You tell me. I think we're going to get some wicked insight. I think we're going to get some amazing breakthroughs. I think we're going to get some kick-ass transformation. Check it. The butterfly right here. By the way, I've been seeing butterflies everywhere, but that's a whole other part of what I'm going to be talking about. So yeah, and you know, another question here is, can you tell us more about karmic coaching sessions? I definitely will. I have 20 minutes, so I want to gauge my time, but you know, karmic coaching, we started in January, here at my home, and it's the last Sunday. What's that?
Tell them about the next one.
The next one is going to be April 29th. I believe it'll be up on our page already, probably. So it's April 29th, Sunday, April 29th, from 1 to 4 p.m. If you're local, please come. You know, email me, mikigracecoaching@gmail.com, or you can email Cassie at the virtual assistant apprentice@gmail.com, or check out on our Facebook page. You can log in there. There's probably going to be a way to do that as well from there. But so what is karmic coaching? So back in December, I was going through some shadow, going through some darkness. And I remember sharing with my mastermind, who's Oliver and Chris, sharing with them, you know, I just want to do more of what I do. I remember saying this. I remember saying, I feel like what I do, like right now, like this, is like slicing a hot knife through butter. It's the easiest. It's like it's so easy. It just flows out of me. It's just part of who I am, and I just want to do it more. And so, you know, the idea during this mastermind was proposed for karmic coaching. And what is that? Well, you come to my home, you know, you feel comfortable. We get related for the first hour. So we just chit chat, talk about stuff, friendly banter. And then we, you know, just start sharing and we start coaching. Usually I do about 20 minutes or so of sharing what's going on for me and what processes I'm working on, and, you know, what experiments I'm doing on myself, or, you know, what tools I'm using. And then I just take that and then we go around the room, and I promise you, maybe not everybody is speaking, but man, are people impacted, like in big ways, in deep ways, myself included. You know, it's so circular, the motion of the conversation. It's so beautiful how it evolves and how it's all connected. It's so sick. It's so sick. Like, it's amazing, you know, seeing the evolution of people, seeing how they shift. Hi, Mohammed. Hey. We have a visitor. Oh, he's a secret. Oh, sorry if you're watching. All our hundreds of guests are going to know. So, yeah, you know, like just the evolution of the conversation in people, the evolution of where they're at mentally, and then the plugging in of the intuitive coaching, the plugging in of the ontological coaching, and it's just amazing. You need to experience it to get it. And soon, guys, because I've been doing some serious some serious intuitive stuff. What that looks like, guys, the intuitive stuff is like, it's intense. Okay, because it's just basically me tapping into who I am, and then if I'm with you or if I'm on the phone with you, I just I don't know what happens. I just fully tap into who you are, okay? And I really feel you. Like, I really feel who you are at that point in time. If you're allowing me in, if you're allowing me to kind of share, and then what I say to you are words that are coming from you. They're words that are coming from your own inner being, and it's just some crazy shit that's coming out of me. Like, I mean, it's just like bang on stuff, you know, bang on stuff. Example. That, okay, example. Okay, so I was talking to somebody recently, and they were like everywhere, like all over the place. And I could feel it. I could feel that they were so not connected to who they were. And I said to her, sometimes it's hard for me to remember, so thanks for putting me on the spot, man. It's hard for me to remember because I'm so like in the moment at that time, but from what I recall, I could just see that she was really questioning. I'm sorry, I'm eating the microphone. I'm eating the mic. So I just recall her just being very everywhere, you know, like very flighty, out of her body, just not really owning her space. And I said to her, I'm like, you know, it's okay for you to be who you are all the time. And she was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, because you totally question yourself. You question whether or not you can be the heart. This is actually what I called her. So listen, Oliver, this is big. I said, all I see is like, I see you as a bird, like a harbinger, like this like proclaimer, this announcer, like this voice, you know, because she was a very, very passionate woman. She was just very excited about life. She was passionate, but at the same time, she would question herself, especially when she was around certain people, whether she was safe enough to express that. So anyway, I called her a harbinger. I called her a bird. I just said, listen, this is how I see you. You know, I see you as pure positive energy. I see you as somebody that has a message for this world and wants to share it with people. And that's what I called her. And she started crying. She started bawling her eyes out. Are you listening? Because you asked for this story. Yeah. So you're even watching it. So, you know, I called her a harbinger, and I was just like, this is who you are, and you need to stop hiding it. She started bawling her eyes out. And then I said, and also, there's somebody, I don't know why, but like somebody in your life really kind of made you feel that way. Somebody in your life really inhibited you. I'm like, somebody close. I'm like, do you have any siblings? And she's like, yes, I have a sister. And I'm like, totally. And I'm like, and you know what? She also doesn't like herself, and she also questions herself, and she takes it out on you. And so that's an example. That's kind of like what I do. And again, like it's from within, man. These things come from within. That's why I'm reading this stuff on Facebook, because sometimes we don't know how amazing we really are. We can see it in our children. We could see it in our spouse. We could see it in our lover. We could see it, you know, in our parent. But do we really see it in ourselves? Do we see how profound we are? How expansive we are? How deep we are? You know, I feel it. I feel it right now. It's intense. The other question was so sweet. I'm going to tell people that you said it, Cassie. But the other question was, what's one of the advantages of having a virtual assistant or business manager? Totally awesome question. Obviously. You know, she does all of my marketing. She does all of my social media. She's there at my events. She's a dear, dear friend. She's a soulmate. she's a soulmate. And, you know, she's like how I am. You know, she gets on board with your vision. She gets on board with your dream. And she goes to town for you. She does it for you. And that's an advantage. I've been talking about you all day. I've been talking about you this whole time. So I love you, Cassie. You're amazing. But how can people work with me? Sorry, I just yelled. Can you fix that? There's like a little thing on the screen here. Oliver.
You stop talking loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Stop talking so close to the mic.
I know I like it. Okay. It likes me. It's gravitating to me. How can people work with me? Well, you know, this show is going to be one option. Obviously, I do coaching. I've got group coaching starting in May. I've got an event that's coming up on May 12th. So you check it out. It's with the 3 pillars. Yeah, there's tons of ways to work with me. I really don't want this to be, you know, a commercial. I don't need to, because if you want to work with me, you're going to work with me, right? You're going to work with me if you want to work with me. I don't have to sell you on anything, because this is about people connecting. And do I think on a planet with, 8 billion people, there's 8 billion people on the planet, right?
Not yet, I don't think.
Yeah, there is. There's 8 billion.
No, 7.
Not yet? Okay, fine. On a planet, I'm not going to do that right now.
Ask the Google.
On a planet with 7+ billion people, do I think that there's people that are going to work with me? I do. And if you're not that person, that's cool. But if you are, that's cool too. Poetry. What does it do for my soul? I have 9 minutes, right?
I mean, when you feel like you want to end it, you can just end
No, I don't want to end it yet. I don't want to end it yet. I'm enjoying myself. Poetry. Okay, so remember, you know, I like myself now. Like, this is kind of where we're at, the pattern, right, with the conversation. I like myself now. You know, I did some shadow work, and I feel like that has a lot to contribute to it. A big thing that's contributed to it, guys, has been being creative, you know, owning my creativity instead of just envisioning it in myself and just keeping it to myself. It's sharing it. And that's what it does for my soul. And that's what it's been all about. And I promised Cassie I was going to read 2 pieces of my work. There's 2 poems that I'm going to read. One I wrote, so this is perfect. Cassie, you picked the perfect poem. My gosh. This one I wrote Monday, July 6, 2009. So that was 3 years ago, and that's exactly what I was saying about David Singh. This is right around this time when things started shifting, because you know what? When I met David Singh, this is exactly right. When I met David Singh, because of the work that I did with him, he got us tickets to Anthony Robbins, and that's when just things exploded in terms of self-awareness. It was on. It was like, whoa, like I know my power. So here's my poem. It's called Ego Under Attack. It's intense. Okay, so here we go. Let me just get into this. Possess ye your soul, or your soul shall possess you. Your soul is your mind's thoughts and beliefs. It is interconnected with the flesh, and yet it is unlikely that an individual is aware of the actual divide between the 2 worlds apart. To shift is to be consciously aware that there is a difference between all parts of our being, and to claim ownership over what has always been ours. A painful bodily battle would once alarm me and cause me to believe that I was reverting back to a weak ego state, when in fact this blessing of pain is a sign that the egoic mind is attempting all it can do to protect itself. A war, so to speak. It is my awareness that frightens ego. Without difficulty, we should say, to war then, ego. This is to be expected. I am prepared to fight for my soul. For beyond this temporary pain, this tiny pimple of nuisance, is greatness and beauty. Whoa, I haven't read that for a while. That one sits kind of deep in my throat. Intense. So yeah, so that's one of my poems, and I really wanted to read. I'm just gonna try to look for it in this damn timeline. Damn you, Facebook! I can't. I can't find what I'm trying to look for here. No. It's cool. I'm almost done. Almost done. Oh, there it is. Yes. I'm really excited about this poem. I read it actually at the family open house. Here we go. It's called Angel Release. And I am actually having a portrait painted that's inspired by this by an artist named Carolyn Sokil. So check her out. Carolyn and Walter, they have an amazing business. They were at the family open house. So here is the poem. And then I'm going to start packing up. I had other stuff, but we'll save it for next time. Angel Release. Angel Release. Shift of light beaming down, opening above my crown. Held high above me, I really don't know how I was chosen or drawn or picked from a crowd of angels. My eyes knew the truth, that all angels surrounding me, pure, positive energy. I embrace what the light has given me, your wings embracing me, releasing the burden, this world on my back. I shrug my shoulders to release the wings. This angel now is complete. And that's my poem, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, that is my poem. So listen, I'm going to start wrapping things up. What I want to say, shit. Oliver's like, oh, hurry up. Because they have their show next. So check it out. It's called Untitled right now because they don't have a title for it, right? For your show. Yeah. It's Untitled?
Untitled Live.
Let's call it Untitled Live. Oh shit. I think that's the name. So really quickly, this is what we're going to be talking about next time because I didn't get to talk about it today, okay? Is well-being. What is well-being about? How can you track your well-being? And when you have your well-being, guys, you're in alignment. And when you're in alignment, imagine what life is like and imagine how much more shit you can get done and imagine how much more like stuff happens, for you. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about what alignment means and owning your own power. What is owning your own power? What does that sound like? What does that feel like? I feel like I'm really there. I feel like I'm definitely in that place right now. So thank you so much for watching the show. If you're watching, check it out, paste it on people's Facebook pages, share it with people, email it to people. And if you have questions for next week, coaching questions or intuitive questions, please email me at mickeygracetalent@gmail.com. or mickeygracetalent@gmail.com. It has been a pleasure. So awesome. See you guys soon.